Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whenever you're watching this video, I appreciate the support, really do. Welcome back, right? It's been 2 weeks. Welcome to if you're new. My name is Joe Josh. Go by iChart Daily. I was telling the Discord the other day, like I'm like a bear coming out of hibernation, bro. I'm from New York. Weather sucks 95% of the time here. We have seasons, etc., etc. And once the sun comes out and I start seeing 75 to 85 degrees, it's beach, boats, and beers, pretty much. You're gonna get updates from me once again, but I like to be right, so I'm gonna wait for market structure to play out. And if I make a video for you, I want to make sure if I tell you something, it has a good chance of hitting, right? I'm not really a content creator. I make these videos because instead of me writing a book on my thought process on technical analysis for 17 years, I figured YouTube would probably be a better option. So I'm trying to teach you my process. I'm not trying to be here and be like, Bitcoin's going here. I'm like that target price guy. No, no, no. I'm trying to teach you because then you could learn. Anyone can learn this language. Anyone can learn this process. So first things first, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Once again, this is a window to my thought process. It's been 2 weeks. I love you guys. I do see something playing out, so I want to let you know. I'm going to be talking to myself because I want you to hear my thoughts and why I'm thinking the things that I'm thinking, right? So, first things first, before I do anything, I always start with longer time frames. Longer time frames don't lie to you. Long-term trends will predict what the short-term time frames are doing. What do I mean by that? I always say start on a time frame where you see a MACD golden cross and death cross, and you see the top of the market and the bottom of the market. So what I mean by that is on the monthly chart, every time we've had a death cross or a golden cross, it was either the beginning of the bull market or the start of the bear market. So because we're here, volume's still going up, we still look pretty healthy. Another thing, the RSI, right? I've said this in a lot of my videos. I am comfortable saying that the bull market will be ending in this box over here, right? This was the top of this market cycle in 2012-13. This was the top of this market cycle in 2016-17. This was the top of the market cycle in 2020-21. I'm not comfortable saying that the 70 to the 76 level and leaving all of this room is the top of the market. Another thing is the halvening just happened. Usually the top of the market happens a year after that. Another thing, a lot of the alts haven't done pretty much nothing versus Bitcoin. Example A, I'll go into XRP versus Bitcoin and XRP versus the dollar. So right now, with this lower high situation, I do think we could go to, once again, I'm going to use the bottom of this level here, 85.92 is a key level, right? What was used as support will be used as resistance in the future. So as of right now, because we're at this, we peaked at the 76.43, I do think we potentially have a small correction on the horizon, but then another push towards the end of the year leading into 2025, depending on what happens with that election. So with that being said, the most important thing on this chart is the MACD continuously keeping market structure bullish. What does that mean? When I say we're in a bull market or we're bullish, literally all I mean is the waves or the steps are making higher lows, because that's a continuation pattern, right? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs also. You're also on the left side of the moving average and going up. Once you break the moving average and you're making lower highs and lower lows, you are officially bearish. And when you turn bearish on longer time frames, I don't care what's going to happen on the 1 minute chart. It's called being pinned. Learned that recently by my boy Frank. But you will get pinned, meaning your 5 minute chart will start looking like it's bullish. But if you're getting a bearish death cross on the weekly at the same time frame, this technical analysis will always trump this technical analysis. So most important thing is we did make a higher low. The last one was here, 61.96. We went up to the 76 blah 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 level, came down and formed a higher low. That gives me insight that there is a higher chance to come back up and make even the same high or a higher high. The first time we make the first lower low, meaning we do this, right? We do this, and then we do this. That indicates the trend is over. But because we made a higher low, that gives me hope that we could at least come up to the 76.69 again, okay? So, with that being said, we still remain bullish. We still have room to grow until I'm confidently saying the bull market is over, right? Next, I zoom into, well, usually I would go to the 3-week, right? I want to see what's happening here. You can see here we're making lower high, okay? I want to see if the market structure is changing on the shorter time frames like the 3-week, the 2-week, and the 1-week that will lead into this forming either a lower high or the same high. Now, if this comes up, right, and we make a lower high to the 76 level, like we do this and this is the high here, that is no bueno. Okay, that indicates that that will make a lower low and the market structure is changing on the longer time frame. What does that mean? Well, right now I think we're in a rounding bottom. Well, we're in a rounding bottom. That's just facts. Okay, we're in this rounding bottom like this. Trends change, right? When everyone knows about it. When everyone understands that it's a rounding bottom and we bounce off support, you understand, you buy, you buy, you buy. When do we change? Well, when we change market structure, meaning we break down right now. And then eventually we stay flat. And we're not using this rounding bottom as support anymore. And then I've been saying for literally weeks to months now that eventually, usually during a bullish pattern, right, the most bullish thing that can happen after this pattern would be the handle, right? You'd want to see a handle happen after the rounding bottom because then your rounding bottom turns into a cup and handle, which is on the bullish green side of the chart. It's not a bearish pattern. You just have a consolidation or sideways consolidation and then eventually a break to the upside. When do I think that happens? Probably towards the end of the year. It usually happens every cycle, you know, like that Thanksgiving to Christmas season. Money's coming back into people talking around the dinner table, what are you doing, yada, 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 making money with crypto. Who knows what happens with the election, right? If Powell eventually starts talking about lowering rates, right? He's been talking about that for a while. So what you have to think is, what happens if that happens? So if that happens, Bitcoin goes to 100 to 125,000. So for the meantime, what are we looking to do here, right? At the end of the day, all we're looking to do is buy this asset at the cheapest price possible so that we could hold it when it goes up to astronomical numbers again, right? It's up 2.3 million% on 12 years. So the weekly, I was noticing this. We have death crossed, meaning momentum is coming down. The first thing that I'm noticing is this a double top? This does look like a rising wedge. These white lines is a rising wedge pattern that usually breaks down, giving me double confluence that it's a bearish pattern. This double top, confluence, bearish pattern. When I look at the RSI, it is a head and shoulders. This high here was at 82.62. We broke the high here at the 88.31. We broke the moving average, showing us that the trend was changing for the worse. We are now using the 70 as resistance, somewhat like we're doing on the monthly as well, right? We didn't form the inverse head and shoulders. It's just doing this reversal type of pattern. This type of pattern is also bearish. So if you have a rising wedge, a double top, and an inverse head and shoulders, it's like 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Now, another thing is it's also happening on the weekly, which is considered a long-term trend time frame. If this was happening on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, I couldn't care less because that trend would probably end by lunchtime today. Okay? This trend, when you have this type of trend reversal, this is what I mean by longer time frames. When this played out last time, and we went from here down to the 70 and down to the 50, right? I'm looking for room to bleed when we go from the 70 to the 50. When we're after 50, I'm looking for room to grow. So we went from 57,000 to 30,000, right? That's pretty important, especially with the death cross on the horizon. Now, I don't think we're in a bear market. I do think we're in a consolidation. During a consolidation, when we're bullish, Bitcoin on the weekly chart loves to use the 11, 21, and 31-day moving average as support. This is not my opinion. This is something that I have noticed over the past 12 years, right? So it's support, support, support. We turned bullish on the monthly here. We turned bearish on the monthly here. We used it as resistance, resistance, resistance. We turned bullish on the monthly here. We used it as support, 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 support. We turned bearish on the monthly here. We used it as resistance, resistance, resistance. Same thing over and over and over. Golden cross on the monthly, support, support, support. This is where I think we are in the market structure now, where we could continuously have these consolidations and eventually use the 21 and the 31 as support. Now, when does that stop? That's also a great question. When the weekly RSI breaks the 50, the good old section A plus, A, B, B minus. Just because we're coming down on a death cross and just because we're having a head and shoulders pattern on the RSI does not mean we're entering a bear market. It means that we're having a consolidation back to the beautiful squiggly lines. And once again, you could see here, we went down to the 50, down to the 50, down to the 63, down to the 50. The most important thing is above this dotted line. So as long as we have a consolidation and we stay above this beautiful 50 line, not like this section here, right, or here, then I'm confident saying to you guys, well, first support's going to be 64.7, then it's going to be this liquidation zone here around like the 60,000, and then best case if you have cash, worst case if you're using liquidation is 55,000 to potentially 52.5. Now, another thing that plays out is if this is, right, it's all about confluencing it up, baby. If this is a double top, right, and this is one top and this is the other top, the rising wedge breaks down. This is your neckline of the 60,000. Usually you would fill the arm, right? So here was your last liquidation zone. You pop up, you double top. Usually all the liquidation leaves here. The sheep retail buys here and the hedge funds sell and then bring it back down to here, back down to this liquidation zone. We fill the arm, we come back down to 55 to 59,000. The news comes out and says it's the worst thing ever. Bitcoin's over. You'll hear like Peter Schiff saying like it's a scam. I told you you should have bought gold. Meanwhile, hedge funds, BlackRock, Grayscale, and everyone else that's preparing for the collapse of the dollar over the next 10, 20, 30 years is buying more at those squiggly lines. So that's that technical analysis, right? We start long, we go short. Can we set any alerts? Yes. First alert. Number one, alerts are huge, bro, right? Alerts are huge. I want to know, are we going to break the 70? I'll probably put an alert there at the 71.15. I'm also going to set an alert here at the 66.01, notifying me that poo-poo's hitting the fan and we're making our first lower high, lower low situation. If that happens, this plays out. We're going down, and this plays out. We're going down too. Okay, so now we have the weekly. We understand that we have bearish sentiment on the horizon, right? Now we go here. I posted in the Discord yesterday. I see here right away, right? Death cross on a daily. Let's get rid of this line. Okay. Death cross on the daily. Not the worst thing because you're still in section A, right? Your last low on the MACD is here. 61,000, meaning the MACD lines could come down to the zero line right here. If you look to the right, you could see the numbers going positive or negative. That's when that represents your last low. Okay, so we could come down to the zero line and not break this 61,000. We could just come down here to like 65,000 right here. And why do I say that? Because I don't know if the full trend is over yet of this rising wedge. So I'm expecting this to potentially break down, use this as support. If we don't use this as support, we're breaking down. You're going to the 61.5 and then the 58,000. That's why you could see I have two alerts here as well. So I have my alert here notifying me that we're breaking these wicks and this buying pressure of the 66,931. This is a little bit too high. I'll probably bring this here to the 69,502 because you can see here Bitcoin has had a hard time breaking it since the 25th, right? A couple of days of just resistance, resistance, resistance. If we continue making lower highs with the same low, this potentially could be a descending triangle. That's when I would say, okay, we have a high probability of breaking support here and then heading, like I said, down to the 66 to the 65,134, because this is a measured move. You would take this line, bring it to the breakdown, lining up again with the 64.7 to the 65,000, this liquidation zone right there. Doesn't look great though, because once again, death cross, and I want to see if we break the 50. If we break the 50, we break 67.1 and 66, I'm sorry, 65, 66.5 to 67.2, this liquidation zone right here, that breaks the 50. That's why I have the alert there, once again confirming the descending triangle. Then I need to see if we have support here and we have room to come back up and double top one more time at the 71.5 and then eventually break down. That is Bitcoin. Next, XRP, because I know you guys love it. XRP has been pooing the bed versus the monthly. That means XRP versus the dollar does absolutely nothing. Right? We haven't broken 49 cents and we haven't broken 66 to 68 cents literally from August 2023. So, the reason why you look at your altcoin, excuse me, your altcoin versus Bitcoin is because Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin has right now 53.85% of the market share. Whatever she does, your coin usually does. So you want to see if your coin is building momentum versus the main coin. When your coin is building momentum versus the main coin, and your coin, the main coin's going up, your coin versus the dollar is going to pump. Okay, you don't have to trust me. Just check XRP July 1st, 2014. Check XRP on March 1st, 2017. Check XRP on December 1st, 2017. These huge green bars. Check XRP. So, what are we looking for, right? Let's change this to XRP. Okay. I'll give you one example just for poops and giggles. I don't want to be demonetized and hacked again. So let's just do this one, right? April 1st, 2021. I didn't even, where is it? 2021. Let's do this. There you go. March, we were chilling at 39 cents. We went to 57, and from 57, we went to $2.11. So do you think it's important? Like, honestly, do you think it's important to watch this chart? Right? You want to do one more? How about this one? March 1st, 2017. Right? We went from 0.005 to 2 cents to 5 cents to 27 cents to $2.61. That was also the Coinbase hype. Coins getting listed to Coinbase. But once again, I have this smooth hike in the sheet indicator because it's used as support and resistance. It's a medium, right? It always goes back to the 21. I have it set to like I think the 21-day moving average. It just gives you a visual of if it's really overextended, it should come back. If it's really overextended, it should come back. We're really overextended, right? And we're at these liquidation zones that we have seen major support in the past, right? Major support in the past, major support in the past. So I'm confident in saying that maybe it's a good time. Not financial advice. Let me put that precursor there. Not financial advice, but is it potentially a good time to be buying a coin that's extremely oversold versus Bitcoin? And when that green line does happen, this green line could potentially happen. right? The chart that's playing out right now, the technical analysis, is this triangle. Right, it's making lower highs with the same low. This could be a descending triangle. It could break down. We could see 37 cents to 32 cents. Or we could break up. It's a measured move, right? From here to here. I'm conservative. Most people will tell you to take the whole thing, but I want my place to hit, right? And what do I mean by that? If I tell you to do something, I'm okay missing out on an extra percent, right? This is, excuse me, this is 36%. If it goes to 46 to 51, I don't care. We both made money. I don't want to say it's going to go up 71% and it only does 50%. Then I look like an idiot. So, as of right now, going back to especially this just this major liquidation zone of 64 cents, right? I always give you 3 levels. Some traders use 6. I think that's a little bit extreme. I use 3. So very simply put, once this chart does anything, even if it just goes back to this level here, right? The zeros, I just say the zeros. The zeros 1503 back to the smooth Heikin-Ashi, using it as resistance, using this as resistance, which was resistance also back in September 1st, 2016. XRP is going back to, let's do 3 levels. 1, right there, 56 cents. 2, right there at 61 cents. Greed level, 66,666. I know the lizard people are going to love that number. I can't do it. Nah, maybe. I like it there. Once again, what I'm looking for is wicks and candles touching that line. You could see here it was resistance, right? We broke above, 2 candles touching it. We broke above, 4 or 5 candles touching it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles touching it. 63, 64 cents is going to be a hard level. Can it go here? Yeah. Do I care? No. Right, so the way that you work this is now you see the buying pressure here. Right, let me show you how to open a play, a long, I should say, and where your stop loss should be. So here, you can see here we've been making higher lows every single time, like this, okay? Just to keep it safe, I'd probably keep it lower than this last candle here of 46 cents. You could also do here 47.7. You could also do here 48.5, right? You gotta play it safe. 3 levels, once again. 8%. Where's my other one? I'm cool with that. Yeah. So you got 8%, 14%, 22%. Greed level. So what does that mean, right? What do I mean by saying that? Take profit levels, right? You could take 30, 30, 30, and then leave 10% for 65 to, 69 cents. And then as we reach those levels, and the RSI is reaching overbought, right? You can see here there's a definite trend happening, right? So what I'm looking for is a pump, and then I'm looking to see if we're at this level right here, and we're at, so what is that? 50 to 53 to 55, right? What did I say that? Well, 50 is the first dotted line. Then I looked at this resistance level here. I was resistance here, was support here. So 55.21 is definitely a key level, right? So once again, it's 3 levels for all of it. So it's like 1, 2, 3, right? So it's like 50.23, 52.76, 55.40. And I'm going to use those levels as resistance because you can see it's been lower highs and lower lows. And what did I teach you? Lower highs and lower lows is bearish. It's usually a continuation. You want to not jump the gun and say, oh, I think this is the first time that it's going to make a higher high. No, no, no. You bet with the trend till the trend is over. And you can see here we're making lower highs, lower lows. So I'm going to bet with the trend until the trend changes. What needs to happen in order for the trend to change? We need to make the same low. So we need to come up, come down, and find support at this 43.42 again. That then shows me that a bottom is forming. Okay. Then what usually happens is a double bottom W pattern, and then you would come back up, either make the same high or break the high. But that hasn't happened yet. So if that hasn't happened yet, nothing changes if nothing changes. I love that line. And nothing has changed in this market structure. So I'm going to assume that those 2-3 levels that I told you will be resistance. And if we're at those levels, and I start seeing bearish divergence, and we're at these levels, that confluence is taking the 90% or 80% off the table and playing with the house's money. That's the video, folks. Once again, it doesn't matter if you're watching this video from a year ago or a year ahead. It's the process that I'm trying to teach you. The lingo will never change. I could close my eyes and look at any single chart right now, and it's the same thing that I did with Bitcoin and XRP. I'm going to start long, analyze the chart, be bullish or bearish. What time frame can I look at on longer time frames that hasn't lied to me, meaning death cross, golden cross, right? And then we bet longs with that trend until it's overbought, and then we open shorts on shorter time frames until we're extremely oversold. And then we go to the weekly, and then we go to the daily, and then we go to the 4 hour, the 1 hour, yada, yada, yada. That's the video, folks. I love you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave it in the comment section. If you have any requests, leave it in the comment section. I might make another video tomorrow. Gonna see what the weather's like. That's it, man. Discord links in the description. Let's make some money. Enjoy the day.